to know if once a week or once a month, we could just do just a philosophical the depth, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we could just kick
That-
around esoteric profundities and see who's got the most highbrow stuff that can come out of their mouth. That would be awesome.
Profundities? You've actually said
I don't think we
profundities.
did.
That's right. Profundity.
50-cent word of the day.
There you go.
There's your $5 word. There's a money.
5-cent word. Come on.
Well, welcome everyone to our daily success call, where profundities abound from Michael and Missy, and Chris and Jan and Crystal. And look at this all-star cast of characters, and I do mean characters. Hey, Annette. Hey, Cam. DL's here. There's Gabe. What's up? Darla. Good to see. Denise. And Imogen. Hey, Imogen. Eric's here as well. Eric, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Catherine. Wow. Look at all these awesome people. Hey, Tessa. Glad you're here. And more people tuning in as we speak. Hey, Colleen. Hey, Lorraine. We are going to have a conversation today. What do you think, Missy? Should we have a conversation? We should do that.
I think we should probably.
I think we should do that. We're going to be talking about pragmatic stuff, though, not heavily
It's
philosophical,
okay.
but more pragmatic. In fact, that book that Chris was just asking about, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, first line in the book, first line, this book is pragmatic,
That's
not
right.
philosophical.
That's
And I'm
right.
like, thank you, sir.
Exactly right.
Exactly. So as much as I love philosophy, right, it's for use. It's like we do something with it, which means that it's pragmatic, right? That you're actually doing something with it.
In a
Right.
certain way.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that part. But but Sarah, where's Sarah? I met Sarah yesterday. She's one of our new members. Sarah, are you here? I do not see you, Sarah, which is tragic because she introduced this topic yesterday. I was on a welcome session, which I love to do several times a day with our new members, just to kind of help people grasp the reality of this, that they're not alone, and that despite the fact that we're using the internet, that there's actual people that make all this happen, right? Somebody has to originate all this. Websites and coffee cups and stuff don't just spring up out of, spontaneously out of the ground. You got to do this stuff. So yeah, I'm a people, you're a people. All right, now that we know we're all real people, let's get down to business. And I like to offer a couple of tips, and then I like to open it up for questions about whatever people would like to ask. I'll go ahead and mute the mics. We got people clearing their throats. Hey, Michael. And so she asked a question, and let's check once again to see if Sarah's here. And sadly, she is not. Okay, well, that's okay. She can catch the replay, because the question she asked was, I think, relevant to everyone who is coming at this while at the same time maintaining a job or another business or something where you've got to keep the lights on, and that's a good and right and responsible thing to do. And yet you're looking to endeavor and reach higher and exceed your statistics from yesterday, right? Otherwise, why would you be showing up here? And so the question came up about life and business balance, or life and work balance. And the sub question of that was, how did you do it? Was it difficult? And so my brief answer was yes, it was difficult. and yes, I did it. And then because I did it, it got less difficult. And so I want to talk with you today about creating some balance between your working life. Work is one aspect of your life. It's a big one, by the way. And what is work? We've taken that idea up before. Work is on-purpose action. That's what it is. I like work, right? I like doing things, and I like having a purpose, right? So that's on-purpose action. That's what we do with most of our waking hours. Nice. The alternative would be, I suppose, sit around and, play video games and, talk about the news and celebrity gossip or whatever. Oh my goodness. No, for me, that's just not living. Okay. And sure, I like diversions. I like to have, things that are not in the direction of, work and business and profit as well. Right. So there's the balance idea. But there's other responsibilities in life, which are also a balancing act, right? How many parents do we have here? Right. Or grandparents or both, right? Or people who are doing this other form of work, which we could say is your job. Okay. So that's on purpose action. rather linear in most cases, right? Like you don't have a lot of leverage. That's like a linear income scenario, trading hours for dollars and whatever. And so right there, we get into the idea of, well, how many hours a day do you have? So the whole idea of balance is, we could say time management, but really there's no managing time. We all got to have the same 24 hours. We're managing activities within that block of time. And because we're managing activities within that block of time, what we're actually managing is our attention. And you've only got so much. So just like time, here's your quantity of time today. We can quantify that by hours, minutes, seconds. Here you go. Here's your bucket of time. You shall spend it. You can't save it. We could also say, here's your bucket of attention. Here's the tokens or the units of attention, and you will spend them. You can't save them for tomorrow. So just like time. So if we can look at that, and we could say, all right, well, I can't massage the clock, but I can massage where I'm spending my attention, where I'm investing that within this amount of time. Now we've got something we can work with. So I've heard it said that like time management is a misnomer. Activity management is really what we're after. In fact, I think I got that from Steve Covey in one of his books, probably 7 Habits or First Things First. So right there's a clue. First things first. Okay, so how did I become successful in business while at the same time, in my case, at the same time, working 70 to 80 hours a week to keep the lights on, to make a mere $10,000 a month, which is all they were willing to pay me at the job. Some of you have heard my story about this. It was pretty ugly. I got 3 pay cuts in that last year I ever worked a job. I got 3 pay cuts in a year, which they called a promotion. Each time was strategic, I suppose. But no, I was under control. I was not in control. I was under control in a corporate agenda. Okay. So, and nobody held a gun to my head. I signed up for that deal, but I wanted to excel. I wanted to double my income. I wanted to have a bit of lifestyle. I wanted to drive a nice new car. All these things were things that I wanted, and I couldn't get in that vehicle. So I had to seek elsewhere. I had to think outside the box. I had to get a bit unreasonable. Yes, a bit unreasonable. So I'm going to tell you how I got unreasonable, because that's what it took for me to create that work-life balance, which didn't happen instantaneously. So yes, Sarah, whether she's here or not, let's see if Sarah showed up yet. I don't see her. Oh, well. Hopefully she'll hear the replay. So here's how I did it. And at first it wasn't balance. It was imbalance. I've heard it said jokingly, I had a friend who said, balance is that split second I pass over when I'm going from one extreme to the other. There it is. You see it? That was balance. A moment, right? And now it's gone. And that's fun. We can laugh at that. And yet that's how it sometimes feels for a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying that we're swinging from, the extreme type A workaholism, overachiever, all the way over to extreme laziness, right? I don't know that that's part of your constitution to do that. Okay. Although I suppose some people could. But when I look at balance, I look at the idea of, here are all the responsibilities, we could say obligatory things. And that sounds a little bit dark, perhaps, or like a forced kind of a thing. No, I mean, like I'm a father. That's one of my roles in my life. Okay. So we could say that's obligatory. It's also, it's something that I'm committed to. That's important. That's one of my roles in my life. Okay. I'm a husband. I'm a member of the community. I am a mentor. I am a, business person. Right. So I've got all these different roles in my life, and I've got to, in one hand, compartmentalize. Here's where that goes. Here's where that goes in terms of my attention that I'm going to give it and what times I'm going to give it my attention, while remaining flexible in some ways, right? There's nothing, you can't be 100% rigid when it comes to like parenting, right? That role has, spontaneous things that are included in that. So I've got that compartmentalized to a degree, but I've also got these other things that can move within those compartments. Give you an example. So here I was in my job, if you could picture this, and overworked, underpaid, in my opinion, and starting this other business, which was in the sales and marketing space, which has been my wheelhouse for a long time. And And so there was a lot of, in that business, there were a lot of like leads that, you got to call leads, you got to have conversations. So it's a different kind of work than, what a lot of people are doing at their job, for example. And so what I did was I would actually strategically, okay, so here's the compartment that I'm going to be in. It's this job that I'm in. Okay. Well, there are times when I have to walk between departments and I have to go to this room and to that office, and I got to go get information over there in that department. And while I was going between work activities at the job that was paying me my pittance, right, I would also have in my pocket, or nowadays you can use, electronics. Okay. So we're going back a couple of decades now. I remember when one of my coworkers had, was it called a PDA, personal digital assistant? And you had a little stylus that comes out and you do the PDA thing. And this guy was like, he was one of these geek nerd, tech people. And I was like, what the hell? Right. I got one. In fact, my wife bought me a PDA so I could be cool, like the cool kids. And I couldn't even figure out how to use it. The operating systems on those things were, well, they were what they were. Now we got, iPhones and Androids and whatever, but PDAs, right? I didn't have a PDA. I had a list of, here's Bob Smith, here's his phone number, here's what he wants, here's, Sally, here's Jack, here's Rich, right? And I would just have this, and I had a little headset, and I had my mobile phone, and I would make business calls in between other work activities. And it was not a balanced activity, although I could switch gears, right? Because I knew my role. I knew my role in each aspect of my life and business and things that I had to do. I knew my role to the degree where I didn't have to, in other words, I was already trained. I could switch gears quickly. And so that created kind of a balance. And while I was scaling up, these business efforts, I was also maintaining the thing that, I had to maintain because it was my responsibility to get the job done at the job. Did that for 3 months. And ultimately I broke through, but I'll tell you how I did it. This is a big deal. So if you get what I'm about to say, this is enormous. I discovered in those first couple of months where I had difficulty creating any momentum with the new business that I was, venturing into, despite having, invested and committed to it. I was still consumed by the job for the most part. And then I had an opportunity to leverage, to get help, to get expert support, mentoring, leveraged, activities and systems and things that I could invest further in. And I was actually resistant to do so because, after all, the new business wasn't making me money yet. It was, I'm working my ass off, or attempting to, in between all the other stuff that I got to do in my life. And it hasn't, it doesn't bear fruit at the outset, right? I mean, most businesses aren't profitable, just talking in, worldly terms here. Couple years, right? So we're not on that path. I mean, you can be profitable rather quickly here, especially with the internet. Keep in mind, we're going back 20 something years when I was, finally, getting into business, with the intent of being full time with it and at least doubling my income at the job. So I was presented with an opportunity to get a bit of leverage and to get a bit unreasonable, right? Because my best thinking only got me so far. It got me working 70 to 80 hours a week at a job for a mere $10,000 a month and getting my pay cut 3 times a year, ending up in the hospital with a stress-induced, condition and passing out. And right, so that's where that got me, right? Getting overweight, not showing up in the gym, didn't even have time to walk my dog. You guys know I'm a dog lover, right? Didn't have time to walk my dog. So that's where my best thinking got me. So here's these other people that said, you know what, we're crushing it with this. We've got, systems, methods, help, personalized, services and everything else that you can participate in here. It's going to cost you about 30 grand. But you're here to kind of like, you're playing to win, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't have 30 grand. Yeah, we understand. Yeah, neither did we. So do what you like. I mean, if your best thinking is, getting you where you want to go, that's fine. But if you're playing to win, then maybe it's time to put in some leverage points. And so that third month, I had a kind of a crossroads. And it was one where I started, for the first time in my life, I started to value time more than money. Money's important, of course, right? And it has a value. In fact, it's printed on the document, right? Or on the spreadsheet or whatever, right? By the way, that value changes all the time. And by the way, it's not going up, in case you're wondering, right? That's the nature of the world. We're not going to get into a conversation about fiat currencies and inflation and stuff like that, but you can do the math. In other words, here's a known quantity of value, or so-called value, agreed upon value. And here's this other thing called time, which, for whatever reason, and I'll tell you the reason here in a second, for whatever reason, I did not value as much as the ink on the paper, the money, the whatever that symbol was. And here's the reason why I didn't value it as much. Because every example I ever had growing up on the streets of New Jersey and dealing with, ignorant but well-meaning friends, family, and neighbors, every single one of them were broke. Every single one of them valued money more than time. Every single one of them had more month at the end of the money. Those are the only examples I had been exposed to. And so that's the paradigm, right? That's another $50 word, if you like. A paradigm is a collection of habits which form how you see the world, how you experience life, through whatever filters. I had to change my filters. My best thinking got me this far, but not further. And so I had to get a bit unreasonable. Reason is limited. Reason is based on what I already know. So let's get a bit unreasonable here. That doesn't mean irrational. That doesn't mean crazy person. Okay. That just means I am out of my comfort zone, like way out of my comfort zone. So I did what I had to do. And I said, all chips in, all chips friggin' in. I will either succeed or I will be a bloody corpse, one or the other, but I will not keep going like this, working 80 hours a week and ending up in the hospital and all this other stuff. Actually, I have to thank my wife. If you guys haven't met my wife yet, she's my secret weapon. She and I run a branding and marketing agency. She's amazing. Survived cancer, like holy crap, like amazing woman. But I was reticent to endeavor fully. I was still kind of playing to not lose rather than playing to win. Big difference. Okay. And I said to her, we got this opportunity. We could take this up. It's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars we don't have. Holy crap, holy crap. You know what she said to me? She said, John, I'd rather live in a tent in the desert than continue to watch my husband die at his job. I was in my early 30s. Doctors told her, your husband will be gone in 5 years if he keeps going like this. That's how much pressure was on me. But of course, I'm invincible, right? So I never considered that I could actually be vulnerable, right? And so we did it. Thank goodness, I had at least one other, supportive person in my life, which not everyone has. That's not to be assumed, right? Why do you think we do these group meetings and, daily success call, and we talk philosophy and other profundities, right? Because we're in an environment which is conducive to success, which is so necessary, especially if you find yourself in an environment where there are people antagonistic towards your purposes. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, nobody makes money in those kind of things, Crystal. You got to be out of your mind, Michael. Jan, stop kidding yourself. Get a real job. Okay. So you got antagonism coming your way, and invalidation, and in some cases suppression. Okay. Which would be pretty extreme. How do you build yourself up? How do you supplant that? Or how do you take that seed and put it into fertile ground rather than throwing it on some, glacier in the white wintry north or something where it's guaranteed to die? Well, we got to put ourselves in that environment. And so I did that with kind of like with abandon. I will succeed or I will be a corpse, one or the other. And that was the moment where, and I know Kelly doesn't like this term, but burn the boats. Was that Kelly that was talking about that yesterday? Seems a bit extreme. Okay, yeah, we're going to get extreme here. I'm playing to win. I'm not playing to not lose anymore. And my whole experience changed. I was so far outside of my comfort zone. Yes, unreasonable. But that's where all of our progress comes from. And look, nobody knows how to reach a goal until you've reached it. So all your best thinking, for whatever that's worth, right? We could either sit here, I could sit here and assert my rightness and defend my position about what I think, or I could just follow some instruction. Now, servant's worth is higher. None of that was like, hey, step right up, for free or something. No. I mean, I've invested over $300,000 at this point into my own evolution and education. There's one of my bookshelves, right? So, and I've made more than that, right? So that was a good investment. In fact, the best investment I've ever made is in my own ability to earn. And here's the punchline for it all. Back to the idea of balance. It wasn't always me doing all the work. And that's where, again, that paradigm shift of it's all about the money, clutching onto every dollar like it's the most precious thing in the world, to, hey, how do we leverage this money now and use the even greater resource, which I have a finite amount of? I can get more money. Okay. Even if it doesn't seem apparent at the moment, there's more money being printed every day. Okay. I can get more money. I can't get more time. And I think it was Warren Buffett who said, if you don't learn to make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die. Interesting. I don't know that I agree with the guy on everything, but that seems to hold water. That seems good. So what can we do? And I know this was a bit of a full explanation, which I told Sarah I would give her. Sarah here yet? I don't see Sarah. That's okay. This is for my benefit. You guys just get to listen in. This is a reminder for me, because I still have to face that to this day. I've still got to look at, where have I failed to get leverage? Where am I doing low leverage things that don't add to my balance in life and which consume me? And some of that stuff is good and right and worthy. And there's times to be out of balance. We'll go ahead and we'll drink coconut drinks later. But right now we got an opportunity. We got work that we can do. Here's the question. If we want balance, if we truly want it, what can we do at the outset to hit this so friggin' hard that we don't even recognize ourselves in 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months? Like, we're living a whole different life. I am living a whole different life, my friends, a whole different life than I was 20 something years ago when I was answering to the boss who was cutting my pay 3 times a year. A completely different life. I paid the price. I've had to pay it a few times, by the way, and that's okay, right? I mean, hey, we're doing the life thing, right? You get to walk through fire a couple times. That's interesting, right? But if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Basically, I bet on me. And you can bet on you. If you're a good investment, right? We'll bet on you then. It's not all about the money. It's about your time and your attention, and you only get so much of that, right? So if you know you're on the right path, and hopefully, again, just by you participating in this community, these conversations, and getting the coaching from Adam and Rachel and everything, and hopefully I've had an effect as well. Maybe I'm in somewhere in your success book, maybe a little footnote. I met this crazy Italian guy, John Lavenia. He said some cool profundities, and, I got to, get out of my own way and like kick ass in life. Fan-friggin-tastic. Let's do that then. But the whole point is that you're investing in you. And that is the best investment I have ever made. I just tell you for myself, here's my own experience. Best thing I've ever done was get out of my own way, take mentoring from people who had been further down the road than me and who had some integrity and were willing to teach, right? That's not every guru on the internet or something, right? There's lots of false prophets that will lead you astray. Okay. But by their fruits, you'll know them, right? Be a fruit inspector. So look at the fruits and think, do I want to walk down that path? And then make a damn decision. Not maybe, all right? Walk down the path, 100% walk down the path. And the next thing you know, everyone's clapping for you. Oh, you're so special. You're amazing. Wow. You must have secrets. But no, it's no secret. That's why I wrote my first book. People were asking me for my secrets. Like I was withholding something. No, it's the same data. I just did it to a higher degree than most people are willing to do it. Right. I signed up for this opportunity and I did the opportunity. It's called integrity, right? You do what you said you were going to do. I don't know if that makes me special, but now here's 200 pages. Go ahead and read the book, and now it won't be a secret anymore. Anyway, I'm done talking. I hope you got some mileage out of this. Michael's got his hand up. So Michael, why don't you a profundity, if you would, sir, please.
Another profundity. You brought up a really good point that tickled my memory. I have a couple of different things on the go. I opened up I have a little booth at a marketplace out of town, and I'm putzing around. It's a jewelry business with tumbled stones and things like that. It's not where I want to be. It's not nearly passive. So I start thinking about that as I'm playing with my stones and separating this and labeling jewelry. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, what is the thing that's going to bring me in money? Is it going to be separating these stones, or is it going to get me money by studying my program, getting these mugs up and running so that I can have the kind of income I want and the passivity of that income, because this other thing is so much work. It doesn't seem like much, but boy, it's so much work. And of 10 hours of work, I get 1 hour of productivity kind of thing, which is not going to get me where I need to go. So what I have to do is very much what you said, is to recognize what is going to bring me the money. I need to find out how I can change my perspective, because every day you got a pile of dirt outside. Are you going to use a spoon or a dump truck to move it? And that's kind of where we're at, deciding what's the priority. And in this case, it's like, okay, I got to get this on the road. I have a time limit that I want to have this happen. And, separating stones is okay and it's good. However, it's not bringing me the money. What's bringing me the money is my potential with a larger income base and getting that down. I'm also doing a marketing course, and it's great, but I'm learning, and the learning's not paying me. So I got to do something that's going to be paying me as I'm doing it, which this is where this program comes into play, so that I'm leveraging my time. I don't, like you said, you've only got so many hours of the day. If I only got so much energy, you've got to decide, or I have to decide, what is the most important to get me where I'm going to go. It's all important, but the different degrees. I think that who said that? It was the quadrants. It was Stephen Covey. I think he's the one that suggests that. Everything's important, but you got to put it in different. You got to compartmentalize it.
Right. Yeah, he gave 4 quadrants in the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The important versus non-important, the urgent versus non-urgent, and those two, combining into 4 different quadrants: important but not urgent, urgent but not important, right? So interesting introspection. And what he talked about was quadrant 2, important but not urgent, is where you want to spend most of your time if you're being proactive. So looking at that, Michael, so you're digging the dirt with the shovel, which is expedient. I get dirt right now. Oh, hooray. And I'll get another shovel of dirt. Or I can go invest $50,000 in a backhoe, right, piece of machinery, in which I'm not producing dirt right now. Nothing. They're building the backhoe. Here's money. But now, the investment pays off. How much dirt you want? Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the dirt. So sometimes, that deferred gratification, it's like, I need dirt right now. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah.
And guess what? Now I have the backhoe. I got someone else driving the backhoe. Right. So it's in the background. I don't even have to deal with dirt anymore. It's just part of one of those peripheral things that I can get an income from that I'm not even hands-on.
Beautiful.
I'm working on my business now. Right.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. Great stuff.
Thank you.
You know who else is going to talk? Alana, because Alana's awesome. Come on out, Alana. How are you?
Unmute. Wow, I am just fine, thank you. I've been working my hiney off, which is good. I hope that I have something of value to contribute today, because I just don't like to talk for the sake of talking with nothing, helpful to come out. Yesterday was a really good, stressful day. The past 3 days actually have been highly productive for me. I was able to get after our session 2 days ago, that would be on Tuesday. Actually it was Monday. Anyways, in 5 hours, I got 50 designs done, 50 mug things, okay, variations on them. So that worked out really well. But the thing that happened yesterday, I think, was most telling, because I was trying to finalize my Etsy and my Amazon accounts, okay? And I had been working on this starting on Tuesday night. And I was wondering why things weren't happening. And things that I was able to accomplish on Tuesday, when I went to do them on Wednesday, the functionality wasn't there. It was like, what the hell happened? Where did it go? So this is what I have to contribute that I think will help a lot of people, a lot of newbies, and it's understanding the systems that we're working with. It's happened to me before in the past where these are little details that are not explained. And I wound up pulling my hair out in frustration because I didn't understand what was happening behind the scenes with these systems. And if I would have known that, then it would have saved me a lot of frustration. And I'm going to get into specifics in a second. It would have saved me a lot of frustrations, and I would have just redirected my efforts in another place instead of staying frustrated and trying to get answers and they're not coming. And it's like, they're looking at the system and they're not seeing a problem, but from my end, there's a problem. This is my point. This is what I want to say. The gear bubble system, it seems, and with Etsy and whatnot, it has a lag time. From the time that you enter something, it's not always, what do they call it? In real time.
Mhm.
Okay, the updates aren't in real time. So what happened was that I was doing these changes and great, it was showing as active on my system. Then I was trying to upload it into Etsy and create my account in Etsy, and it wasn't happening. Like today here, this is where it really solidified. I was adding categories to Gear Bubble. And then right after I added the category, I went into my products that I had added, which is about 50 of them or so, and I tried to use the category. It wasn't showing up. So I'm thinking, aha, there's a lag time here. Oh, okay. What I'm trying to say is, like yesterday, functionalities disappeared on my system from the day before. And I realized with this category thing that, like I say, there's a lag time. So I was smart yesterday. Instead of staying frustrated, I started directing questions to appropriate people in Facebook, in the Facebook group, and right to Gear Bubble themselves, right to Amazon themselves, right to Etsy themselves. These people have all gotten back to me. But in the meantime, I kept on working on my texts, on my designs. So I didn't let that stop me and just stew in my frustration. I just kept on working. So today, this thing is like, I can go back afterwards and update my categories if they're all that important. But at least for the time being, my products now, I was able to activate them. And now I've gotten answers back from people from Etsy and from the Facebook group. And so I can, move in that direction today to finalize get products added to my stores finally. But the thing is, it's understanding the systems that you're working with so that you don't stay stuck in that frustration. You can say, okay, now that I know that there's a lag time between when I update something in Gear Bubble and possibly using it, let me use that time. Let me, like Kelly was saying yesterday, let me redirect myself into productive activity so that I don't stay stewing in that frustration. And I use that time wisely, because today now, heck, I can upload, well, now I know there's a limitation too about uploading to Etsy all of a sudden, but I can at least get those products into Amazon today.
Right.
And then I can also do 5 products into Etsy. And so it's like, again, understand the limitations of the Gear Bubble system so that you don't get frustrated and stall in that. Use your time wisely, understand the limitations of the system, that there might be a few hours or a day lag time, because it seemed to me there was like a 24-hour lag time. Finally, it's back today.
Yeah.
I can do everything,
may have
but
been
I
a
didn't waste that time.
Yeah. And it could have been a tech issue too. I had tech issues this morning that were pretty daunting, Alana, having to do with telephony devices via voice over IP. So yeah, we all get to deal with that stuff. And I couldn't figure it out. I wound up rebooting my computer a couple of times and running disk utility and like, oh my goodness, and checking out my audio MIDI settings. And finally it started working again. I'm not even sure what I did, but yeah, sometimes there's tech problems. So
my life lesson has been, especially over the past 5 years, because I've become very good at recognizing patterns. And it's like, you know what? You got through. Oops, there's the telephone.
Yeah, we got people trying to bust in on this conversation. Go ahead, wrap up what you were saying. Right.
there's patterns in life, right? And it's like, this too shall pass. Like, I'm starting to see, well, it's been happening for a while now. I can see beyond the problem now, so I can keep myself calm in the situation. And I have enough problems with a nervous stomach, like my nervous system is, and I'm still healing from past traumas, okay, emotional traumas. So, but this is again, is an exercise in like, stay calm. You will get through this. When your brain calms down, you'll see there is a solution. It's coming. Don't worry. There's a solution on the horizon here, and it's nearer at hand than you believe. So don't give up. Don't get caught. Don't get down in the quagmire there where you can't see for looking because you're so damn frustrated with things. And the tech, it's like, no, guess what? Calm down. Tech is not perfect.
Right. Yeah, you got to stay objective about this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alana. Beautiful stuff. Congratulations on your breakthrough. And you didn't throw your computer or anything. That's
I know. I was ready to, right. But I didn't.
Awesome. We got Susan who's going to jump out here, and then we got some people on open mics. Susan, you've got the floor, please.
Okay, I'm trying to do. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Okay. So Alana, it's really nice to see you. I've been trying to answer your Facebook group questions because I understood what you were going through, the way you worded it. I was like, I know exactly what that feels like. And I would like to echo what Alana is saying about, yes, you're going to get frustrated, but your brain is going to shut down. And Alana did something I can't always do, which is figure out what you can solve, figure out what you cannot solve. And with those things you cannot, well, then you just go ask the universe. And Alana is very good at asking her questions. She tries to be as specific as possible, which is something that one of the moderators points out regularly. And that is why Alana gets the responses that she gets and how quickly she gets them, because she tries to spend time detailing her frustration. I find when I do that, 90% of the time, if you can identify the problem, you can get the solution. But I find that if I do that, I can go to the Facebook group and go find the answer using a few keywords. Sometimes somebody already has it. But I commend Alana because I know she and others, but it's just neat, like, hey, that's the person from Facebook. I wish I could do that more often to separate those two, the frustration, what I can't do and what I can do. And that has been definitely a stopping point for the first 2 weeks when I was in the program. So that is her life lesson, and I am going to take that lesson.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. And I think you're on the road. We had a bit of degraded sound, sound like a Bluetooth device or something, but thank you. Great insights there. All right. Very good. Anybody else before we wrap up for the day and create some work and life balance here? And Missy, we will definitely somebody just unmuted 775. Who's that?
Bill.
Hey, Bill, what's going on?
Well, I got to explain a couple of things to you. I'm a 100% disabled vet. I spent the last 5 days in the hospital, and I've missed all my meetings. And I have absolutely no idea how to start registering all these cups that I've been trying to create wording for. I've got over 100 done, but I don't know what to do with them.
Okay. Well, Bill, it's all in the training. And as Alana was just indicating, you've also got support when it comes to logistics or technical in the Facebook group, as well as the help desk, help@lowhangingecom.com. Bill, I know you're just dialing in with a phone right now, so you can't see us or the text. But help@lowhangingecom.com if you've got like specific questions. Or, of course, there's that Facebook group. We're glad you're here, Bill, and thank you for serving, and welcome. Welcome to the crew. help@lowhangingecom, ECOM.com, and they'll get you taken care of, okay?
Okay.
Very good, Bill.
Shot.
All right, glad you're here, my friend. Welcome to the session. And we got Helga who wants to say a few words. Helga, if you would.
Hi, everyone. Hi, John.
Hey.
Thank you so much, John. This is what I want to say. for getting in touch with my accountability rep.
Mhm.
He called me immediately. Well, he texted me immediately after you got in touch with him, I'm assuming, because it was right after the meeting. And I just
Mhm.
want to say thank you. And like Alana, I had a stick to it sort of attitude yesterday. And that's what we got to do, because I was able to really surprise myself and do my Amazon, my seller's account. And yes, and now I've gotten to the verification part of it. So that's going to happen in a few days. And I'm hoping for the best. So thank you so much. It's helpful. What you're doing, don't stop. Have a good one.
All right, I'll keep showing up. You got
Yeah.
it, Helga. Thank you, my friend. All right, so another thrilling episode of our Daily Success Call in the bag. Missy, did you, you know what? I'm going to have to give you a call, Missy, because Missy, by the way, Missy and Bob have had their first sale. And yeah, and it is, their business is up and running. So congratulations, Missy. This is just the beginning, of
Thank
course.
you. Thank you.
Yeah. And as far as your idea on going on a deep dive philosophical thing, I do that in my mastermind group. We're going to, but I bring you a little taste of it here as well. You're always welcome. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap up. I will see you all back here tomorrow, and definitely get with your program, get with your reps, and let's keep this train moving. I will see you all real soon.